He runs and he runs. Through the trees, through the woods, until the woods run out and the ground slopes up and the trees give way to mountain grasses taller than him so he cannot see beyond or above, and he can no longer run. He paddles through the grasses, wading through tall weeds and wild sunflowers, parting the drooping heliotropes with swimming motions of his free hand, the mid-brown ball held aloft like a prize. He cannot see the ground, stumbling blindly through the mist, following the scent of wood smoke and carrion, the distant calls of gathering crows. He's lost among the switchgrass until he comes upon the beaten trail of his most recent tangent. He recrosses his own path and searches for a break or some kind of landmark, moving towards a small gap on a narrow, broken track in the reeds, where he comes upon a sleeping deer who springs from her bed in a bounding leap that confounds him. He watches her tail flash and disappear into a shadow. He can hear the urgent pump, pump, pump of his heart. He follows the deer's trail to a clearing on the mountainside, a great expanse of open meadow, ringed with chinkapin and buckeye and a lone tree looming almost black against the sky. The Tyburn tree, a giant, the father of his dreams and visions, the reaper of stolen souls, the king of oaks. He knows this place. He's been here before, in a womb, in a dream, in 1,000 dreams. He approaches with caution, making his way past the branches that hang to the ground, and he sees something there, in the tree above his head, a thing that sways limp and makes strange sounds. It stiffens him and his belly goes hot like a death come a-knockin'. It's a man. It was a man hanging in the tree. There is the gentle creaking of a rope. He can smell it, a carrion smell. The cooling embers of a bonfire scraped together out of great wood and mossy boughs. In the distance, the persistent cawing of the gathering crows. His head spins, his legs wobble, and, stricken with a sudden weakness, he falls to his knees. His fingers splay on the trampled ground, that powdery earth that forms over time in places where crowds gather, where he can see the impressions made by the feet of men, children, and dogs. The breeze blows down from the north and it rattles the dry leaves of the tree, moving the suspended corpse. It's a warm breeze that carries with it a pungent scent, luring hordes of blowflies that shroud the blackened figure in a ghostly curtain that ripples and hums, the droning of thousands of tiny wings. He breathes through his mouth to staunch the smell and manages to stand. He steps over the remains of charred wooden pallets. Protruding nails snag at his cuffs. He stands below the hanging man in the remnants of the fire that still smolders. He watches him sway, trying to see who he is, but he cannot recognize the face, nor can he discern any distinguishable feature on the body. The hands have been severed, the offending axe buried in a nearby stump, its handle caked with pine resin and cocked toward the sky. The man's feet are missing, and between his legs is an angry black wound with the flesh peeling off in thin translucent layers like the wrappings of a nest constructed by paper wasps. If it were not for the smell and the flies, he would swear this was some window dummy torched by boys and strung up as a joke. He wishes it was, but wishing alone is not a powerful enough invocation to ward off such a terror, and he covers his eyes with the palms of his hands.